standing strong and tall. Yeah, this is the bovine coming on the air, sharing the stories of the folks who care. Profiles of passion, voices of the trade, dairy strong legends being made. Yeah, this is the bovine coming on the air, sharing the stories of the folks who care. Profiles of passion, voices of the trade, dairy strong.
Hey there, and welcome to the Bovine Podcast. I'm your host, and today, I've got a story that's going to stick with you. It's about empty barns that stayed full of hope, about families who kept breeding champions when there was nowhere to show them, and about a reunion that's been 5 years in the making. This is the story of Cremona's 80th edition, happening November 27th through 29th, 2025, and why it means absolutely everything to European dairy. So let me take you back to something Lorenzo Cicerani once said. He runs Sabbiona Holsteins in Italy, and they've got 175 excellent cows. But here's what struck me. He didn't talk about genetics or championships. He said something much simpler. Quote, "We want to breed beautiful cows that are productive and last a long time." Now those are simple words, right? But just imagine, holding on to that vision when those beautiful cows had nowhere to go, when productive only mattered in your own barn, when lasting a long time felt less like an achievement and more like waiting, just waiting for something that might never come back. You see, what happened to European dairy families over these past 5 years taught me something profound about human nature. It wasn't continuous closure that nearly broke them. No, it was something crueler. Hope, then heartbreak, then hope again. Let me paint you the picture. 2020 hits, pandemic, exhibition halls go empty. 2021, still empty. 2022, young handlers are practicing in vacant barns with no audience. Then 2023 arrives. Finally, families start preparing animals again. There's this renewed energy, this belief that normal is coming back. And then bluetongue strikes in 2024. England alone reported 196 cases by August 2025. Movement restrictions slam back into place, borders close, again. The exhibition that was supposed to mark their triumphant return, canceled. Now, you've got to understand what this meant for families like the Beltraminos at Bel Holstein. Mauro Beltramino, he still gets emotional talking about how they started. He says, quote, "Our first heifer impressed everyone back in 1987, and that moment sparked a dream. That dream carried 3 brothers through decades. It earned them grand championships at Cremona in 2004, victories at Swiss Expo in 2017. But dreams need stages, and for years, there were none. Here's what gets me. The Bel Holstein family faced COVID-19, then bluetongue, and somehow these experiences only strengthened their resolve. Not because they're extraordinary, but because stopping would have meant surrendering something essential about who they are. I heard this story that really captures it. During the worst of the restrictions, breeders were practicing their fitting skills on the same animals week after week. Francesco Beltramino and his girlfriend Chiara, working in empty barns, maintaining muscle memory for competitions that might never return. One breeder told me they named these practice sessions, get this, rehearsals for hope. Dark humor? Maybe, but it kept them going. Now, sometimes the right person appears at exactly the right moment, and Nathan Thomas accepting the invitation to judge Cremona's 80th edition, that's one of those moments. Here's why Nathan matters so deeply. He doesn't run some massive operation with unlimited resources. T Holsteins in Ohio milks about 30 cows. 30. That's it. Yet from that small herd, working with his wife Jenny and their 3 kids, they've produced more than 150 All-American and All-Canadian nominations. Just weeks ago, at World Dairy Expo 2025, Nathan managed something extraordinary. Stony Point Joel Bailey claimed her 3rd consecutive Grand Champion Jersey title. 3 years running at the pinnacle of North American showing. She stood Reserve Supreme Champion this year. Golden Oaks Temptress Red ET took top honors, but that consistent excellence across multiple years, that's what dairy farming really demands. Not single moments of glory, but sustained dedication when glory seems impossible. When Nathan walks into Cremona's ring this November, he brings that understanding. He knows what it means for a family operation to compete globally. He understands the weight these animals carry. Not just genetics, but generations of hope. Okay, let me give you the numbers. The statistics tell one story. More than 800 elite animals from 6 European nations, 70 conference sessions, 200 commercial exhibitors, the Italian trade agency coordinating delegations from over 20 countries. But there's another story those numbers can't capture. Think about Sabbiona Holsteins for a moment. 12 generations of homebred excellence, not 12 years, 12 generations, each one building on what came before. Their current herd? 650 milking cows producing 42 kilograms per day at 4% fat, 3.55% protein. They're pushing forward with robotic milking systems, adapting, evolving. Meanwhile, Bel Holstein chose a completely different path, and it's equally valid. No robots, no automation. Francesco still clips and fits cows with his girlfriend Chiara and cousin Cecilia. His brothers manage their herd. 15 excellent, 59 very good, with the same hands-on dedication their father taught them. Both approaches worked. Both survived. That's the lesson here. There's no single path through crisis, only the courage to keep walking whatever path you've chosen. What really hits me is realizing these families weren't just maintaining genetics, they were preserving identity. When you're the 3rd, 4th, or 12th generation carrying forward a legacy, your animals become more than business assets. They're living proof that what your grandparents built still matters. Now picture this with me, young handlers across Europe spending 3 years learning to show cattle with no shows. Kids like Greta Beltramino at Bel Holstein, practicing in empty rings, posting videos to encourage each other, maintaining skills for competitions that kept getting canceled. The strength in this generation fills me with hope. They didn't just endure the absence, they prepared for the return. I love this story. One group of young handlers in Germany created a virtual showing league during lockdown. They were judging each other's animals via video, maintaining that competitive spirit when actual competition was impossible. Another group in the Netherlands? They practiced with stuffed animals when movement restrictions prevented them from accessing their cattle. Sounds absurd, right? Until you realize they were 17 years old, refusing to let their dreams die. These aren't just future farmers. They're the generation that learned resilience before they learned normalcy. Through all of this, certain themes kept emerging from breeders across Europe. One Austrian breeder who maintained full show preparation despite no exhibitions for 2 years told me, "Excellence isn't about conditions, it's about standards you refuse to lower." An Italian farmer explaining why he kept his routine unchanged through restrictions said, "The barn doesn't know there's no show next week." A Dutch operation on why they accelerated their breeding program during lockdown. "We breed for our grandchildren's grandchildren. A few years of disruption doesn't change that timeline." And my favorite, from a young German breeder on maintaining her program when everyone said to scale back, sometimes continuing, is the rebellion. Now, picture November 27th, 2025 with me. Dawn breaking over Cremona Fiere. After years of stop-start disruption, pandemic, attempted recovery, bluetongue, more restrictions, finally, a normal morning. The first thing you'll notice is the sound. After so much silence, the mixture of cattle calling, equipment clanging, conversations in 6 languages, it creates a symphony of survival. Diesel engines warming up, gates swinging open, that particular squeak of well-worn wheelbarrows that haven't been used for exhibition in too long. Cattle trucks arriving from 6 countries without restriction papers, without extra health certificates, without the constant fear that someone will call saying it's canceled again. Families seeing friends they last embraced before everything changed. Nathan Thomas preparing to judge not just cattle, but resilience made visible. What strikes me as extraordinary is how ordinary it will seem to outsiders. Just another dairy show, just farmers doing what farmers do. But you and I, we know better. Every animal entering that ring has already won. Every family competing has already triumphed simply by still existing, still breeding, still believing excellence matters, even when excellence had no audience. Think about what this means for different operations. For Sabbiona, with nearly 500 excellent cows in their history, competing again proves their philosophy endures. For Bel Holstein, returning to international competition validates that traditional methods still matter in an automated world. The economic stakes are real. Embryo sales worth tens of thousands. AI contracts potentially worth hundreds of thousands. International recognition that opens new markets. But that's not what November 27th through 29th is really about. It's about Mauro Beltramino seeing his life's work validated. It's about young handlers finally experiencing what they've only imagined. It's about Nathan Thomas placing classes that represent not just this moment, but all the moments that led here. As I'm recording this on October 18th, 2025, just weeks before Cremona opens, I'm struck by how this story speaks to everyone facing their own storms. Market volatility, family succession challenges, technology changes threatening traditional methods, climate pressures rewriting the rules. The lesson from Europe's dairy families is profound yet simple. Keep going. Not because success is guaranteed, but because the act of continuing is success itself. The barn that saved their dreams wasn't a building, it was belief, maintained through pandemic isolation, sustained through bluetongue restrictions, preserved through every logical reason to quit. The rhythm of European dairy life, broken so many times, will finally resume November 27th through 29th, not back to normal. Forward to something deeper. These families now know they can survive anything. That knowledge changes you, makes you both more grateful and more determined, more aware of fragility, but also more certain of strength. When I think about what awaits at Cremona, Lorenzo Cicerani, seeing his family's 12th generation of breeding validated, young handlers like Greta Beltramino experiencing their first full international exhibition. Nathan Thomas recognizing excellence forged through adversity. These moments remind me why this industry matters beyond economics. November 27th through 29th, 2025, Cremona, Italy. Be there if you can. Not for the genetics, though they'll be magnificent. Not for the business, though opportunities will abound. Be there to witness what humans can endure, what communities can preserve, and what hope can build when it refuses to die. Some moments remind us who we are, what we're capable of, and why we do what we do. This is one of those moments, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. Thanks for listening to the Bullvine Podcast. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because sometimes the barn doesn't know there's no show next week, and that's exactly why we keep going. Until next time, keep believing in excellence, even when excellence has no audience.